This week our virtual Tour de France takes us to the historical region of Picardie.
I'm really excited because this is the birthplace of Alexandre Dumas, so we get to talk about books.
Needless to say, Picardie, like every square inch of France, has been the scene of war. If you are a World War I buff, this has to be on the top of your bucket list. In 1916, one of history's deadliest battles was fought here, the Battle of the Somme. The village of Compiègne hosted the armistice that ended fighting between the Allies and Germany in 1918. Now it is a peaceful place with memorials to the Great War. In the north of Picardie is the Baie de Somme, an estuary that holds interest for nature lovers like me. It is home to France's largest colony of seals and is an important stopover for migratory birds. Southern Picardie functions as the northern suburbs of Paris. Many residents commute to Paris for work. The region has picturesque villages like Gerberoy and stunning cathedrals like this one in Amiens.
For art and culture, Degas and Seurat painted from here. The novelist Colette was inspired by her visits to the Baie de Somme, and fantasy writer Jules Verne spent his last years in Amiens. Now for Dumas, who is maybe my favorite French novelist, he was born in the village of Villers-Cotterêts. Dumas wrote some famous and enduring novels. If you haven't read The Three Musketeers, you've probably seen a screen version of it. We'll talk more about that book when we get to Gascony. And if you've never read The Count of Monte Cristo, you really should. It's one of the best books ever written. I knew the plot of this story from a film version, and I also watched all 4 seasons of Revenge, which was inspired by it, and still, I was enthralled through 1,200 pages. Even Mark Twain was a fan.
Mark Twain's Huckleberry Finn, the great American novel. Toward the end of it, we read about how Tom and Huck are trying to break Jim, the slave, out of the cabin where he's being held. But they're taking the time about it because Tom wants it to be a grand adventure modeled after the writings of Dumas. At one point, he suggests that to get Jim out of the cabin, they should dig, not using picks and shovels, but case knives. Well, Huck says, "Confound it, it's foolish, Tom." Tom says, "It don't make no difference how foolish it is. It's the right way, and it's the regular way, and there ain't no other way that I ever heard of, and I've read all the books that gives any information about these things. They always dig out with a case knife, and not through dirt, mind you. Generally, it's through solid rock, and it takes them weeks and weeks and weeks and forever and ever. Why, look at one of them prisoners in the bottom dungeon of the Castle d'If in the harbor of Marseille that dug himself out that way. How long was he at it, you reckon?" "I don't know." "Well, guess." "I don't know, a month and a half." 37 years, and he come out in China. That's the kind. I wish the bottom of this fortress was solid rock.
Where did Dumas come up with all of these adventures? Possibly from the life of his own father. This book, The Black Count, won a Pulitzer Prize in 2013 for author Tom Rice. It's the biography of General Alex Dumas, who was born in Haiti to the son of a French nobleman and a slave. He became the highest-ranking person of color to serve in a continental European army. He led troops in the French Revolution and under Napoleon, and he was known for his daring military adventures. He inspired his son's stories. The author had a few adventures of his own in bringing us this tale, which just goes to prove the adage that truth is stranger than fiction. Read this and then the works of Alexandre Dumas. We'll catch up with him again later on our tour.
Thanks for joining us this week. Our next episode will feature the food of Picardie. Spoiler alert, it's yummy.
Au revoir.
À plus tard.